Hello there, and welcome to Reach for Power, where we will take a closer look at power itself and the strategies to build it. I am your host, Monika Kruk, and in this episode, we will focus on certain action steps and power strategies that can help you go back to the job market after you were laid off. In recent months, we had a series of major technological companies such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Salesforce, Vimeo, Goldman Sachs announcing massive layoffs amongst their ranks. Last year, we had similar daunting news from Meta, Twitter, DoorDash, Zillow, Peloton, Snapchat, Netflix, Cisco, the list goes on. Let me share a few thoughts if you were among the ones affected by layoffs, how to survive such difficult event, and how to get back in the game. Point number 1. Give yourself some time to recover after the painful experience. Surround yourself with people whom you trust, get some sleep, take care of your physical well-being. Grant yourself this well-deserved break. One small watch out though. Do not make this break too long. Get back in the saddle, so to speak. I actually like this metaphor a lot. The image that I have in my mind is of someone such as a jockey or a cowboy who has fallen off a horse and must get back in the saddle to resume riding the horse. Common wisdom dictates that someone who falls off a horse must immediately return to the saddle in order to conquer both the horse's temperament but also one's fears. And there may be a grain of truth in there. Point number 2, identify your goal. Saying that I want a new job is not enough. Try to be as specific as possible. Ask yourself the following questions. Which industry you want the job to be in? Do you want to continue with your current career trajectory? Or maybe you want to leverage this break to pivot into a completely new direction? What types of companies you would be interested in? Established ones, corporations, early startups, late startups, non-profit organizations, maybe your own business. Keep asking yourself these types of questions until you can clearly visualize where do you want to go. The more information you are able to filter out through such analysis, the higher the chances that the next job that you are going to find will match these expectations. Furthermore, the more clarity you gain about your goal, the higher the chances that you will be able to build a roadmap for yourself, like a clear strategy, how exactly you are going to get to that goal, what specific steps and milestones should happen on the way. Point number 3, work on your pantry check. By pantry, I mean all your assets, including physical, intellectual, social aspects or characteristics that you might leverage in your job quest. It also might help to create something which I call your own mojo file. Let me describe in a few words what I specifically mean. Feel free to choose any format that you like best. It can be an Excel, it can be a Word document, it can be a PowerPoint, it can be good old pen and paper, it can be even a post-it note. Whatever rocks your boat. Do not overthink it. Make sure that in this file you record all your successes that happened during last year. And be very generous about it. I mean, the trajectory might cover winning a 5th place in your local village cake baking competition, up to winning a Nobel Prize in physics. You get the drift. The key point here is to be meticulous about it, is to be precise so that after you reread this list in a month or 2 or 3 from now, you will still be able to recognize what sort of points you wanted to make. And do not turn it into a full-blown journaling, because that's a very valuable exercise. However, it will not fit this specific purpose. The purpose here is not to discourage you with the amount of work needed to conduct such list, but rather encourage you to record all your successes on a regular basis, because it is enough to do that in one short bullet point. Not only this file becomes a great preparation for any interviews that you might have ahead, because it allows you to reflect on everything that you managed to accomplish lately, and also be ready with specific examples of activities or skills that you were able to demonstrate. But more importantly, it also helps to boost your self-confidence. Whenever you have a tough moment in your job search, go back to that file, have a look at that list, and see how much you already managed to do, and take your strength and motivation from that realization. Point number 4, map your network, meaning list all the individuals that you know or might have access to, for example, through social networks, that might be helpful to reconnect with, not only to ask whether they are aware of any openings or can offer you a job, yet also, for example, to get more perspective on companies that you identified in the step 2 that we discussed a moment ago. Start with leveraging power strategy of flattery that we talked in episode number 1, and ask for some time with them. Let it be even 15 minutes virtual coffee. Leverage this time to ask for advice, to ask for any insights that they may share about the companies that they are currently working in, or maybe, but most importantly, use that time to start building longer-term relationship. Even if the given person will not be able to help you immediately, the fact that you managed to quote-unquote get your foot in the door allows you to start conversation, to start communication, to open up those communication channels. And therefore, for example, to come back to this person for more advice or more perspective when the time comes. Point number 5, get into action. And here I have a surprise for you. Do not over-rely on replying to the job ads. This activity should, based on my experience, not cover more than 10 to maximum 15% of your time devoted to the job search. If your sole strategy of finding a new job relies on job ads, then let me tell you this, you are in trouble. You will be up against bots, sifting out algorithms, and massive competition. So what to do instead, Monica, you ask? Let me tell you, tap into your network to access so-called hidden job market. What's this one, you ask? Those would be those vacancies that aren't publicly listed or advertised with recruiters, but instead are filled through internal candidates or referrals. The way to be able to tap into this hidden job market, to see those job openings that will be coming up on the market in due course, is to know the people who are responsible for creating those openings. Let it be managers, let it be HR people, let it be key decision makers within the given companies. I think now you see why tapping back into your network is so vital, because only through your network you would be able to get access to the information leading to such openings. Because then what happens if you are able to get to a job opening which has not been listed yet? You have a chance, first of all, to present yourself to a person who, for example, will effectively be making the hiring decision. Or maybe it is just enough to know that somebody will read your CV, that it will not automatically land in a trash or will not be filtered out by algorithms set up to look for specific search words. Sometimes the fact that you will be among the first ones to be considered might be enough to land you this job, because you will get attention and you will get time of recruiter to actually spend on your CV. Furthermore, it's important to remember that any hiring manager wants to limit the risks related with hiring a new person. In other words, the recruiting person simply wants to give themselves a chance to hire a good worker, somebody who will actually deliver the work as intended, will not require massive training or will not require massive supervision. One of the obvious ways to limit such risk is simply to hire a person whom either you worked with before and simply know what the specific person is capable of, or have very strong references from somebody whom you trust. Therefore, if you manage to tap into your network and reach people who are working in the companies in which you are interested in, that can vouchsafe for you or become your internal advocates to get hired, that's a very serious competitive advantage over everybody else who is trying to get into the same role using good old job advertisement channels. Furthermore, as mentioned, in some instances, those jobs will never appear as the job advertisements. Why? Because, for example, the role itself is high risk and the company does not want to make it public that high visibility role is actually being filled. Some of the companies in those instances use executive search, but some actually fall back on internal referrals or look for internal candidates. If you manage to land yourself on a pile of CVs which matches these descriptions, and you will also be able to showcase some internal advocates, your chances of landing the job increase substantially. Point number 6, do not give up. Perseverance is the name of the game. I cannot promise you the new job will land in your lap very quickly or within days, although things happen. However, if you keep going, if you formulate a meticulous plan and with certain milestones that you want to check, if you ring fence the time to spend on your job search and do that regularly, day in, day out, then your chances increase dramatically. Think about it almost like a new full-time job. Your job search is your new job. With this said, I am also happy to do my bit. If we worked together or studied together and you were faced with layoffs, by all means reach out to me. I will be happy to help you make connections that you might need in the companies that you've identified, or write a recommendation for you, or support you through visibility within my network. Just let me know if I can help. If you liked today's episode, please subscribe to have regular access to the newly published content. You are also welcome to check Reach for Power webpage at reachforpower.com for more materials and also share your thoughts and comments through LinkedIn. Thank you for joining me today and keep on reaching for power.